would like to announce that the person who invited you on the call tonight also has information for a webinar. We're going to be doing a live webinar to go into even more detail on the things that Mr. Fulcher talked about tonight. We'll be doing that in exactly 30 minutes. And so if I were you, I'm not you, but if I were you, I will be calling people right now and getting them the information for this incredible webinar we're going to be having tonight. The person invited you on the line, they'll get you the information. We thank you for your time.
What's up, Mr. Flaherty?
What's going on, guys? How are we?
Good. How are you tonight?
Good, good, good. I am trying to figure out how we've got Andy's screen on the line here. I'm not sure how that happened.
So we have Andy's, this is his screen.
Yeah, Andy, we've got your background on here, brother.
Is there something I need to do?
You hit share screen, I think, maybe.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you might have clicked share screen, so you might just need to, let's see here. See if I can do it on my side. I don't know if I can do it on my side. And 30. Had somebody in Canada that they couldn't call in because of her plan. So I'm like, give me your number. I'll call and three-way you onto the call. So let's see here. It is a cute baby picture, for sure. It's a cute little baby.
Thank you. How's that showing up there?
It's a good thing you don't have anything embarrassing on here.
Exactly. I never do. You know me better.
Let's see here. Andy, so do you see where you there you go.
How's that?
That's better. Now that's got it figured out. Still, we're gonna give it just about one more minute here, guys, and then we'll get it going here. I still don't know why it's positioning Andy in the forefront here, but that's okay. No big deal. What do you see right now, Richard?
You.
You're the main person.
Oh, there it goes. Now it's switching on me. Okay, cool. All right, let's give it just about 2 minutes. Who was on that call just a couple of minutes ago?
I was.
Was that not fire or what?
Yes. Good stuff.
Ramasio can definitely bring it. That is for sure. Victoria is on, and she says it was a great call. And yes, it will be recorded. In fact, that will be the updated call that we load to the myhelodevice.com/overview, just because that call that we have on there was from February. So we'll be updating that here. You'll see that call get updated on there very quickly.
Awesome.
So we've got Andy and Richie and David. Jana, welcome to the call. Good to see you on here. Jason is here. Karen is here. Carrie and Neil and Victoria, welcome. And sorry, guys. I got to just go.
Hey, Travis, it's Katie. I'm on.
I was just back. We got everybody jumping around tonight, from a conference calls to this Zoom to the next Zoom, and I am hosting the next Zoom that starts in about 20 minutes. So this is not going to be a long call. And I mainly want to just share some news with you guys, and we're going to go ahead and get started just for the sake of time. So for those of you that were just on that call, you heard what's happening. It's absolutely exploding at a level that we all thought that it would, and it's very exciting. What I've learned about this business is that, and you guys have heard me say this before, the windows of opportunity in this industry, they don't open very often, and they don't stay open very long, but when they're open, incredible, magical things can happen. I've probably witnessed, maybe on one hand, the amount of times that these companies come along, a convergence of forces happens. It's always with some type of a category creating company where the story just resonates, and it resonates deeply at a level that is beyond anything that we've seen before in the network marketing space. And I have to tell you guys that this one takes the cake. I mean, people are just absolutely excited about this product and what it can do for their families' lives. And so here's what's happening. Over the next 2 weeks, as you guys know, the cycles run from Tuesday to Tuesday every single week. And to rank advance, you have to be able to hit a certain amount of volume within that period of time. And it just depends really on what rank that you're running for. So, one of the key ranks, or one of the, it starts off, and I think it goes from silver to gold and gold to platinum. Platinum is 5,000 in volume. And then it goes from platinum to diamond, which is 10,000 in volume. And if you guys have seen the presentation before, diamond is where you're now recognized on the leadership team. You're invited to be able to participate in some of these calls and webinars. You get to kind of get invited to the inner circle. You get to go on the next diamond trip. The diamonds were just taken to Dubai. All of this is paid $12,000 in stock for just showing up. So I want to just help you guys to understand that diamond in your organization is 20 family packs on your lesser leg. And that is combined with all of your team, not just your specific efforts. Platinum is 5,000 in volume, and 5,000 in volume is 10 family packs on your lesser leg. Now, what I have found is that when we first get started in these businesses, and a lot of times we'll start sending out those 3-minute videos, and then we'll follow up and we'll start sharing the opportunity. You will get a percentage of people that jump. They jump because they have those instincts to recognize an opportunity when it presents itself. But the reality is most people don't have those instincts, and most people don't have that courage and that fortitude to go first. And I commend all of you for jumping, for taking that chance. And I commend you all for being here tonight, because you're expressing that you want to take this to the next level. My purpose in sharing that with you is that the people that don't choose to get involved with you initially are going to be watching you for the next 30 or the next 60 days. And they're going to be watching very, very closely. They're going to be watching your enthusiasm on social media. They're going to be watching, and they're going to be banking on the fact that you won't be here 60 or 90 days from now, and that you are just going to be, that thing didn't work out the way that they thought. However, if you surprise them by talking about how you are rank advancing and how you are having success and how you are excited and the people that are around you are excited, what's going to happen is eventually you're going to get a whole slew of people that come 30 to 60 days from now, and then you're going to get even more of them come 3 to 6 months from now. And so the key to our success, you guys have all heard the term success loves speed. It's all about creating momentum. I'm fond of a story that John Maxwell refers to. I think it was in 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. And he talks about the water skier. And he talks about momentum. It's called the law of momentum. And what he refers to is imagine for a moment you were going to go water skiing for the first time, and you're behind this boat. And the boat was just taking off, and you were nervous, right? This is the first time you've ever water skied before. You're out there in the water, and you've got your skis pointed up like they told you to do, and you're holding on to that, the rope, and you give the driver a thumbs up that it's time to go, and that boat starts to take off, and you are just terrified, right? But you start to go, and what's the first thing, if you've ever water skied before, the natural instinct for water skiers is they try to pull themselves out of the water. So you start to try and pull yourself out of the water, but what happens is you start to get a little bit top heavy, you start to lean forward. And has anybody ever experienced that before? Do they know what happens in that situation? Karen, you know exactly what happens, right? You go face plant right into the water. So now you're sitting there and you're thinking, okay, that didn't feel real good. But you work up the courage, you muster up the courage to say, you know what, I'm going to do this again. You get back up, you get ready, you give the driver the thumbs up, they start to go again, and this time you slowly get out of the water. But here's what you have to realize. What's actually getting you out of the water is that resistance. And if you just sit back and keep your arms straight, what eventually happens is the resistance hits those skis and it lifts you out of the water. But when you get out of that water, all of a sudden you're now gliding on top of the water, and there are very few feelings that feel like that. And it's a really neat experience. But let's say that you finally got out of the water, and then all of a sudden the boat driver just stops and turns the engine off, and you sink back down into the water. And then he starts over again, and you get up out of the water, and then he stops, and then you sink back down in the water. What's going to happen is you are continually just being met with resistance and water in your face, and you are never getting yourself into momentum. And that's what most network marketers do, is they find themselves in situations where they literally are spending all of their time with that water in their face. You know, they might, slowly, maybe one time this week, they might sit down and send 10 text messages out, and then 6 or 7 days goes by, and guess what? They sink back down into the water again. And they do that to themselves over and over and over again. And guess what eventually happens? Within 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, most network marketers say, wow, this just isn't working. The reality is you've got to get yourself out of the water, because once you get out of the water, you have a little bit of momentum. You're starting to glide. You're starting to have fun. You're starting to experience results. And pretty soon you start to gain the courage and say, look, I'm going to jump that wake. And you might fall, but you get back up and you keep going again. All of that momentum in this industry hinges upon your ability to launch your business successfully. It all comes back to the launch. Sitting down, making it a priority to make that names list, get the prejudging out of your head, every single name that you can possibly ever think of. And over the next 7 to 14 days, you effectively launch your business. And what will happen is you'll start out those first few days with water in your face. But eventually what happens is you slowly get out of the water, and you will all of a sudden start to have people on first base and second base and third base. And you start to get some good momentum going in their business. I'm going to give a great example of this. Richie and Christy Hood launched their business about 10 days ago. And in those first 3 or 4 days, Richie, you guys have heard him on some of the calls. Richie, I think you put a list together with how many people, Richie, did you have on your list?
Before I started, I 462.
462 people. And you reached out to how many people in your first day?
The first day, by the end of the day, little over 100.
Yeah, so 100 people. And what has happened now is Richie's starting to hit some momentum. He has 2 people that joined just yesterday, right, that came involved on family packs, and he's got some rock stars in his organization that are really rocking and rolling. I know Rhonda Burns is here tonight, and she's fired up. And so that's the key is to get, and what happens is, and I've watched Richie go through this, is Richie has gone from launching to he's so excited that he can hardly sleep at night, and he's still got to run his day business because it's tax season, but he's so fired up about this because he's starting to see things happen. And that's what has to happen for each and every one of you. So now let's get to the announcement. So the announcement is this. The company wants to break all kinds of records, and they're giving us all an opportunity. They're going to extend this cycle by 1 week. It is going to be a 2-week cycle. This does not happen very often. When they do it, it is the best opportunity to be able to rank advance because you have 14 days instead of 7 days to make it happen. And so with that in mind, guys, the higher the rank, the more money that you make, right? Not just in your personal recruiting, not just in your team sales volume, but the generational check matches. Because once you get to platinum, you're not just making 10% off all of your personals, you're making an additional 5%. Let me give you guys an example. Summer and I right now, we have sponsored in the last 4 weeks, we're at 35 people that we have personally sponsored into this business, okay? So all of these 35 people, Richie's one of them, Joni Josephson's one of them, many of you are on this call tonight, Katie Easley's one of them, Every single one of those people are in the process of launching their business. Well, guess what? They get a check every single week. It's their team sales volume, and we get a 10% check match on that check of 35 people. But I want you to understand what happens is those people go out and start sponsoring people. Like Richie sponsored Rhonda and many others. I don't know how many Richie's got, but he's got quite a few now. Those are all in our second generation. Summer and I have about 100 people now on our second generation. Well, we're picking up an additional 5% of every single one of those checks. And once you hit diamond, you pick up a third generation. That's where we are right now. And we're picking up another 300 or so people that we're getting another 5%. If you guys can do the math on this, you can understand how your checks can start to skyrocket very quickly. And the reason why some of these people that are on these calls that are talking about just ridiculous amounts of income are able to achieve the kind of income that they're achieving. And so I just want you guys to know that we've got an opportunity here. It's within the world global opportunity. Each and every one of us has 14 days to go and create a great story. And I'm going to encourage everybody that's on this call to, number one, share with me what your rank is that you're running for. Many of you have done that within your groups. And I'd love to be able to have a strategy call with each and every one of you over the next 24, 48 hours where we can have a discussion about what you need to do to be able to achieve that rank. The main thing really comes down to massive exposures. That's really what it comes down to. I mean, we've gone through these numbers on some of the trainings, you guys. I mean, if you do 20 a day over the next 7 days, that's 140 exposures. And out of those 140 exposures, at least 70 are going to look at that 3-minute video. And at least 35 of them are going to agree to go to second base. And if you pay close attention to our group, I'm sharing a lot of the language that I'm using, and I'm changing it. I'm still playing with what's really, really dialing in, but I invite you guys to just copy my language because I'm getting it dialed in. Even tonight, I was getting really good success on getting people onto that call that just happened. So every time that happens, I share that language with you guys in the group, and I encourage you to copy it, save it down, and I'm also accumulating a PDF doc that I'll eventually post with all of our scripts. And out of those 35 people that agree to go to second base, at least 17 of those are going to have a serious conversation with you about getting involved. And at that point, when they get to this level, you guys, we're experiencing about a 70% close ratio when they're at that point where they're still with us, when they're on second or third base. And so 70% of that's roughly about 10 people in your group. And if you can stick with these numbers over the next 14 days, that's just personals. That's 10 personals. If you did that for 2 weeks, that's 20 people that joined your business. You guys are going to exceed the platinum rank and be approaching the diamond rank. So again, diamond is 10,000 in volume. Platinum is 5,000 in volume. Now, hold on one second. Mike Sims is trying to get on here. What's our meeting ID? Let's see here. So Mike, he's not going to let me announce this tonight. So I'm just going to tell you that there's going to be some fun announcements and some additional income opportunities for rank advancements that come for the people that hit these 2 ranks. But he's not letting me announce it because we're still dialing in what that looks like. But I'm just going to say to you that there is going to be some extended income opportunities that go along with this inside of these 2 weeks as well. He's been with Fabio all day today, and he's absolutely been blown away. So I asked him to pop on here just to share a couple of thoughts about what that was like to spend with him. Oh, on it to annotations. Okay. So anyways, that's really what I want to share with you. And in closing, I want to just share a quick story with you, and we'll see if Mike pops on for a moment. So first of all, there's 3 names that I want to ask you. First of all, Nolan Bushnell. Anybody know that name, Nolan Bushnell? Okay. Second, did somebody recognize that name? Second name, Joe Green. Anybody know that name? I know that some of you will know this one. Anybody know Ronald Wayne? Anybody ever heard that name before? So listen up. Nolan Bushnell turned down the opportunity to invest $50,000 in seed money to Apple. At Atari, Bushnell was one of Steve Jobs' first bosses. Had he invested, his investment would have been worth $480 billion today. $480 billion. Ronald Wayne could be worth $40 billion today. He's still alive. And he was Apple's 3rd co-founder who sold his 10% stake in Apple for $800. He sold his 10% stake in Apple for $800 2 weeks after the launch. He later got $1,500 for renouncing all claims to ownership. And that would have been worth $40 billion today. And Joe Green was Mark Zuckerberg's college roommate. They had previously started something else that didn't work out, and Joe Green's father was adamant that Joe not do anything else with Mark Zuckerberg because he was a pie-in-the-sky dreamer, and so he chose not to get involved with him. I share those stories with you because these are people that missed out on opportunities. I firmly believe that what we have in our hands here is the opportunity to be able to go and change our life. You know, there's a fable that I'm fond of, and that fable is a rich man has 4 sons, and as he grows old, he decides to give his poverty to the son who would value the wealth that he had earned. And so he calls his 4 sons and gives them each 5 grains of rice, and he tells them that he should ask for these grains at the end of 5 years, and he would give his property to the son who would value these grains the most. And so the first son, he throws away the grains. He decides to show his father some other grains when he would ask for them 5 years later, and in anticipation that his father wouldn't even know the difference between these grains. And so the second son, he eats the grains, and he thinks the same thing. He's thinking, well, I can just show him some different grains. He'll absolutely never know the difference. The third son, he preserves them, and he puts them in this beautiful silver box, and he takes care of them, and he keeps them safe. He offers prayers to all for the next 5 years over these seeds. The fourth one, he takes those seeds and he sows these grains and cultivates them in the backyard of his house, and they grow into crops during the harvest season, and he keeps resowing the grains from these crops. And in due course, he's gotten acres and acres and acres of crops as a result of these seeds. And so, of course, as apparent from the story, at the end of the 5 years, the father gives his property to his 4th son as he was the most deserving among his 4 sons. We all have those seeds in our hands right now, and it's up to us to decide what we are going to do with them. It's up to us to either cultivate those seeds. We can go put them in a silver box, and we can casually go about this over the next month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, and maybe tell somebody here or there, or we can make some sacrifices, especially over the next 14 days, to create our story. Because what will happen is if Richie, you go diamond, or if Katie, you go diamond, or Rhonda, you go diamond, any of you guys that are on this call, David and Victoria and Jana and Diana, and all of you guys, Karen, if you guys go diamond, or even if you go platinum, what's going to happen is your story is going to act as a magnet that draws people to you. And what's going to happen is your excitement's going to go up, your belief level's going to go up, your confidence will go up, your competence will go up, and that is where the momentum comes from. Mr. Mike Sims, am I right or am I right?
Absolutely, you're right. Can you hear me?
I can, man. How are you, brother? I'm just talking to our runners here about how important this next 14 days is, brother.
Man, I'm excited, man. I had the privilege to be able to spend about 6 hours with Fabio today. And I'll tell you, man, honestly, I feel like I've been operating at about 80% myself, and, been blessed and privileged because of the team to be able to still hit the president millionaire position in the comp plan. But now, after spending some time with Fabio, and it's always, that what I call grace period or belief period that you have to go through or grow through before you go all out, especially if you've been doing something for the last 10 years, as I have, or if you're a network marketer or professional in this business and you may have been let down in the past from a company or something of that nature. So you want to try to, make sure that this is the right thing for you to be doing. And I got that validation today. It's just everything I heard today was just, if everybody is not running 100 miles an hour, then all I can say is shame on us, because, as Travis has so eloquently said or stated, we've got an opportunity to change our family's trees, period. We've got an opportunity to earn some real legacy money. I've earned a lot of money in network marketing, but this is a game changer on what we can actually go out and do. And Fabio gave me an illustration today. Same thing Travis alluded to earlier. Several years ago when the iPhone first came out, I think it might have been 2000. I can't remember what year it was, but 2000, whatever it was, the iPhone first came out. And, of course, there was a lot of other phones in the marketplace at that time. Nokia had a phone. A bunch of other companies had phones. But everybody was wondering, what's so special about this iPhone? Then they opened up the APIs, which was originally in their plans in the first place.
And all those other companies, BlackBerry, all the rest of them, they ended up filing bankruptcy. They went out of business because they didn't have the capacity to be able to generate or be able to go in and develop applications for people to use to expand what they were doing. Well, of course, what are we doing with Hilo? I got a chance to take a glimpse at some of the applications that people have already developed in the Hilo App Store that's coming very, very soon. It's game changer type stuff, and we've got access to it. We've got the exclusive rights to it. We're the only company in the wearable technology space that is doing what we're doing with open APIs, and then the devices that are going to be coming out over the next couple of months. So absolutely incredible game changers. The stock play of this company, we're really close. I mean, I can't say because it's be considered insider trading on a conference call like this, but I would tell you that we are poised and positioned to go big as far as the stock is concerned, to enter another exchange. That's all I'll tell you right now. It's not too far around the corner. Other countries that are opening up or we're having a bigger presence in is going to be crazy too. And so I got a list of things, and I'll be going over some of this stuff in detail with Travis, and he'll be at liberty to share some of it with you if he chooses to, which I'm sure he will, especially now because you all will beat him down for the information. But anyway, just game-changing type stuff. And I just hope everyone recognizes where we are and take advantage of this opportunity, because most people don't get opportunities like this. Most people do not get opportunities like this in their life, and we've got one in our hands right now. Is the company perfect? No, we're in the beginning stages. We've had, some people, it may be too early for you because you want everything to be seamless and everything to be cookie cutter right now. But just trust and understand that the company is working on every single thing that is not seamless right now to make it seamless. And their vision is long term and it's huge. And they're actively working on things. Some of the things I mentioned right now, back office reporting, they're actively working on that. Right now our back office reporting is very basic, so we're going to be working, but they're going to be adding back office reporting and some other things to make the situation or make the process more seamless. Customer service is going to improve.
I'm going to drop off and get ready for this call. Would you mind closing for me?
Yeah, I'll close out. Absolutely. Thank you.
I'll be on the webinar here in just a minute.
Make sure you get out the annotations. You know how to do it, right?
No. How do I do it? I've been trying to.
Oh yeah. Okay. So go to the top of the screen. Okay. Before you go to screen share, and there's a drop down menu that says more, okay, and then it'll tell you how to disable annotations.
Okay, cool, we'll do. Thanks, guys.
Okay, all right, cool.
Bye.
So yeah, I'll wrap it up here quickly as well, and just tell you all that the company